So the sun being in Leo, the daylight is, nighttime is increasing, so it's important to be doing something to get attention, to be noticed, to be doing things that other people are watching or noticing, to be acknowledged or applauded for what one does. But it's to be alone, it's not about being alone, it's about getting some attention and being noticed for being best at something or being good at something. Then it's the daylight is greater. So the nighttime is greater of Leo. It's the individual trying to belong, but still too strong to follow. Okay, I want to belong, but on my way. I want someone to realize how much of a king or queen I am. But to me, the other version of king or queen, that's a different story. But this, so the darkness increasing of Leo, Leo gets attention, but the minute you get noticed, there's going to be more responsibilities tied into it. More darkness is increasing. I'm doing this, but then there's the extra things that have to be taken care of. That's the Leo. So one is having the I, me glory, the daylight is greater. The other is everything you get noticed for, there's going to be more commitments around, there's going to be more work to do. So how much attention can you afford? How much work are you prepared to do? How much involvement are you prepared to make to get the glory and the acknowledgement? Daylight increasing, nighttime increasing, daylight is greater. And this means it's the summer, which is, we already saw that was the distinctively accentuated phase. So the sun is in on that. And then we've got to go to masculine or feminine. Does it project it? It's a masculine sign. She's going to project her confidence. I'm coming from here. I want to do this. Her moon is going to be active. And her sun's active, saying, let's project this confidence out. Let's shine. If you tell a Virgo to let shine, they're going to wait a few minutes. They're going to think about it a bit. You tell an Aries, then they might go on it. But for Leo, they naturally figure they shine. This is my day. Excuse me. Then you have the fixed. It's a fixed sign. So her purpose, she's going to find something she likes that she's going to be good at and going to be very determined to show other people how to do it. Showing other people is nighttime increasing. Being the one who shows it is the daylight is greater. And being fixed in that I'm the teacher. I'm the one who shows. This is my being, and I have to show what I know. You're showing, it's coming from the IC up to the midheaven, you're projecting out. So you've got to project what you know and the values that you have because of it. That's that sun. So so it's fixed fire. And then you have the rules itself. So this is a very, the sun is dignified. So she's the natural Leo. The sun in Leo has this glamour, this confidence, this natural, ta-da, here I am. Expect to be noticed. Hey, Dad, here I am. You know, like it has this need to be applauded, or hey, look at me. Hey, watch what I'm doing. Okay, so that is ruled by the sun. It's important to have confidence. And when you put it into the houses, it's rising. It's below the horizon and rising. So by rising, she has to project her sun. She has to take where she's coming from, the IC, and make it important and get noticed for where she's coming from and be proud of it and show other people. But I have to get myself together to show it first. It's below the horizon. This is where I am. This is what's important to me. This is where my confidence is. I have it. Then it'll project out. But it's as soon as it projects out, it's on the other half of the seesaw. And it's projecting to other people involved with it, and she's going to want to tend to pull back. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So it's what she's doing is still the strongest, and the need to express the value, the values of the second house. So the second house, it's rising. It's below. It's succeeding. So it's fixed, and it's an earth house. So here it's I've got to have enough money. If I'm going to work for you, you're going to have to pay me for it. Don't ask me to do it for nothing. You know, like. It's going to have to be, I got to have some detail. I got to have some things I want to do. But these are no bad aspects to that sun in the second house. Generally good with money. You would think they're good with using one's talents. These are the the words. Words are the lowest form of astrology. It's just the steps we're taking to tune into the colors, the energies, the frequencies that are there. And out of each planet, just doing the planet, the signs and the houses, you've got all these different potentials or categories that come out any one of them at any time. Well, it's hard to be all of them take categories at the same time, but generally one or two will be there and be outstanding. It's what you're working on. Now, there's no really bad aspects to the sun. The sun sextiles Moon and Mars. So the home family is not a hassle thing, spontaneous thing, but it's conjunct to Venus. So the need the need to be appreciated, to be liked, to be charming, to smile, to project art or beauty, and to project these things. This is the Venus adds a style to the sun. I'm going to project this, but it's got to be around something I'm doing or something I like, or, you know, her ability to charm with that Venus to get what she wants, to make a good, nice impression. That first impression is very strong with that Venus sun and the Gemini rising. She's projecting her chart. She's trying to find a nice way to do it. And normally her confidence would be there. Her security and her confidence are both fairly strong, fairly good factors, not really afflicted. This is not likely someone who she might have had her fights with one or struggles with one, but it's not really coming out of that much from the planets. That's clear. So even if there were more challenging things in the home that she had to grow out of, she still, in her attitudes, gained a lot and was able to smile and be of good cheer and pass her confidence on that way. So the aspects are just adding the stress onto the factors. So it's a process more than it's a definition. And as we go through, how are we doing for time? Okay. No, I'm not going to do any of the others. We've done all the others, the planets and signs, the houses. We've done them, but it's the same factor. You just go through each of them. You put and you're working the signs and the houses together, whether they're fighting each other. Here, the sun, it's in a fixed sign. It's in the succeeding houses, so it's very determined to get value, or when I value something, that's going to be very determined values, very strong. So, but if you just glanced at the Mercury, it's in Leo. I got to be best, but it's in the third house of communication. So this is, this Leo, this is a person who could teach and show people how to do things and express what is good and show people how to think better, and that would fit in with the Virgo one. That's really natural. She's not the coach, not the team leader, but she would be the best teacher, best writer, or person who could express things to make them better or nicer. Like, it's kind of like art therapist, but I see the Mercury, the Sun here, it's more the writer and the teacher, the astrologers who communicate, to express things. But even in doing astrology, eventually she would end up teaching it, showing other people how it works. Now, her Mercury in Leo in the third house, so she's proud of things, but that's one of the difficult aspects. She only has two difficult aspects in her chart. The Neptune squares her Mercury, so should I do this, should I do that? So even though Mercury is the rulership that watches everything, she has an afflicted Mercury that can be deceptive, can be evasive, can think too many ways at once, can be tempted into this, or can hold on to some cherished idea to a dependency or obsessive point. So this Neptune comes in and makes it an anything is possible mind. So how do you choose which thoughts are real, which things are, who's real, who's doing it, what should I do? There's a certain amount of confusion around the thinking. That confusion of that Mercury, if I'm speaking, I'm going to be proud of what I speak, I'm going to put it on, but that confusion or that gullibility or naiveness, it's going to have a strong effect because it's the ruler of all the Virgo planets and of the moon. So it becomes important to get good thoughts, clear thoughts, to finish one's education, to be able to think for oneself. But it's very easy here to get caught into getting people dependent on how you think, or just telling someone else what to do, or being told what to do. And it gets confusing to think, what should I do? What shouldn't I do? The thinking is, you begin to value silence, and you begin to value having things peaceful. When the Mercury Neptune there, but boy, there's so many things that get tempted, so many things that are half-truths. It's a puzzle around the Mercury. Trine Jupiter, nice, there's not other bad, it's just a square to Neptune. But that's a significant square that adds the vision and yet the confusion about which vision is real, whose ideas are the best. So for all the critical analytical side, there's some puzzle around the Mercury, around getting it working properly or working good or compassionately or clearly. It is a visionary Mercury with that Neptune aspect, but like at the same time, it's difficult to express visions. Easier to just keep secrets than to be talking about them. But when you start explaining yourself too much or explaining other people too much, you can get lost in that. It's just like astrology, easy to get lost if you don't have a structure. These 30 steps are a very useful structure to go through. But just because that aspect's there, it doesn't define who she is. She's still the sun in Leo, the moon in Virgo, the Mercury in Virgo, and she still has these basic energies to express. She's got to do that. It's just there's a tendency to be gullible. And she sees where she's coming from and may not see where other people are coming from. So it becomes important. Truth becomes a very important factor for her, not twisting it, not stretching it. And honesty from others becomes a very important factor for her. So for her to need so much discrimination, it's easy for this Mercury to get spaced out and to be fixed about, to be fussing about things that don't need to be fussed about, or might be better off left alone. You can't know what it is till you see it. See, you still have to work the Mercury in the Leo and in the third house, the writing, the teaching. Then Mercury and Neptune could simply be a bilingual or trilingual factor. The person is multilingual and not everybody notices or knows it. Like that would be good use of it. Okay, it's like what I want to get you to do one planet at a time. Don't say, oh, they're both in Leo, they pile up. Do each one separately, and you get separate insights for that planet. It affects the rulerships, but you see it more clearly. You don't get cluttered with too much information, which astrology is full of. Okay, I want to deal with the sun and moon. We've looked at it, but the last 5 things, well, really we have done 4. We've done the signs on the house cusps in level 1. Those were the last 4 things we've done. But these are the angles based on your time. This is the clock of the day. This is the axis of the houses that we get all our house meanings from. So they're not the houses themselves, although they act as if they're that house. The cusp of the house would act as that house. But they're sensitive points in their own right and very powerful ones. So we've gone over this. What motivates her? What motivates this person? She's got Virgo on the IC. She's motivated by 1, trying to belong, but 2, trying to do it her own way, trying to fix things, trying to improve things. She's analytical about her motivation. She's motivated by ideas and thoughts, and even critical thoughts, being Virgo. But analytical she's motivated by ideas. So she reads a book, she's going to get motivated. She studies a course, she's going to be motivated. She's studying astrology, she's going to be motivated by it. It's going to affect what she's predicting. Everybody's going to know she's studying astrology. She's not going to not tell people. It's going to be a natural enthusiasm that Mercury comes in there. She's motivated by it. Now, it's mutable, it's Earth, and it's reflective. So it's a reflective point. And whenever you're taking things in, the whole setting chart, everything you take in, to resolve it, you have to analyze it to resolve your motives. You're thinking about, why did I do that? Why should I do that? How do I react to that?